You ever wonder why some people just seem to get rich so easily while other people struggle their entire lives? Well, according to T. Harv Eker, it has almost nothing to do with your education, how smart you are, or even luck. Nope. He says it all comes down to what he calls your money blueprint. So today, we're going to unpack his core ideas for basically rewiring your brain for financial success. All right, let's get into it.
So let me just start with a question for you. What is your financial set point? I mean, really think about it. There's a certain amount of money in the bank or a certain income where you just feel comfortable, right? Anything less than that, and it feels like a total crisis. And anything more, well, it feels kind of unreal, almost like it's not yours. That set point is your financial thermostat, and understanding it is the very first step to changing your life.
And that thermostat we just talked about, that's what Eker calls your money blueprint. You can think of it like this master plan that's always running in the background of your life, pulling the strings on all your financial decisions. It's not about what you consciously know. It's a program buried deep in your subconscious that controls how you think, what you feel, and what you ultimately do with money.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to really understand this blueprint idea. Then we'll dig into where it even comes from. After that, we'll talk about this huge mindset shift from victim to creator. Then we'll get into how the wealthy actually think. And finally, we'll cover the one thing that separates the winners from everyone else: taking action.
Okay, let's dive into the blueprint itself. And honestly, the best way to get it is through that idea of a financial thermostat. It just explains so much about why our bank accounts look the way they do.
This quote right here, it's the heart of the whole philosophy. Eker says that all the visible stuff in your life, your money, your job, your relationships, they're like the fruits on a tree. But where do those fruits come from? They come from the invisible stuff, the roots. And your roots are your inner world, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs.
And here's what that looks like. You've got your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Those are the roots, underground where you can't see them. And they produce the fruits, your wealth, your health, all the results in your life. So it's pretty simple, right? If you don't like the fruits you're getting, you can't just stare at them and wish they were different. You have to change the roots. Your inner world literally creates your outer world.
In this thermostat idea explains everything. Let's say your internal thermostat is set for $50,000 a year. Even if you win the lottery, you will subconsciously find a way to get rid of that extra money and get right back to $50K. It's also why self-made millionaires who lose it all can get it all back so fast. Their thermostat is just set way higher.
So if this blueprint is so powerful, where in the world did we get it? Well, it's not like you sat down and chose it. It was programmed into you, mostly when you were a little kid, through three main ways of conditioning.
This programming really breaks down into three things. First, there's verbal programming. This is everything you heard about money. Second is modeling, so what you saw people do with money. And third, specific incidents, those powerful emotional moments you experienced that involved money.
Just think about the phrases you heard over and over again growing up. Did any of these sound familiar? Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work your fingers to the bone for money. These aren't just little sayings. They're literally lines of code being written into your subconscious blueprint, and they shape your relationship with money for the rest of your life.
And then there's modeling, the old monkey see, monkey do. Were your parents big spenders, or were they savers? Was money a source of joy or a source of constant fighting? We tend to just soak that up and adopt their exact habits without even realizing it. Or sometimes, if we really hated how they handled money, we might rebel and go to the complete opposite extreme. But either way, our blueprint is being shaped by their actions.
Okay, so we know what the blueprint is and where it comes from. Now we're at the big turning point. This is about making the crucial shift from being a victim of your programming to becoming the creator of your own financial life. And it all comes down to this one fundamental difference. The wealthy mindset is, I create my life. They believe they're at the steering wheel. The broke mindset, on the other hand, is, life happens to me. It's a belief that leaves you totally powerless.
So how do you know if you're stuck in a victim mindset? Well, Eker gives us three big clues. Number one is blame. Pointing the finger at the economy, your boss, your parents, anyone but yourself. Number two is to justify, saying things like, oh, well, money isn't that important anyway. And number three, which he says is the absolute worst, is to complain. Complaining is basically financial suicide. It's a universal law that whatever you focus on expands. So when you're complaining, you are putting all your focus on what's wrong with your life. And guess what? You're literally attracting more of what's wrong. You become, as Eker puts it,
a giant garbage magnet.
All right, so once you take full responsibility, the next step is to consciously start adopting the thought patterns of wealthy people. It's like learning the rules to the inner game of money. Because trust me, it's a completely different game than what most people are playing.
For example, think about the game you're playing. Rich people play to win. Their goal is massive wealth. It's abundance. They're on offense. Most people, though, they play the money game not to lose. Their goal is just survival, security. They're playing defense. And as Ecker says, if your goal is just to be comfortable, chances are you'll never get rich.
Here's another huge one. Wealthy people reject either-or thinking. Most people come from a place of scarcity. They think they can either be rich or be a good person, have a successful career, or have a great family life. Rich people refuse to accept that. They ask, how can I have both? They believe you can be rich and kind and spiritual and have an amazing family.
Okay, we've figured out the problem, we've got the mindset. But absolutely none of it matters without this final critical step. This is the single biggest thing that separates the rich from everybody else.
This is it, right here. Everybody feels fear. Rich people feel fear, they have doubts, they have worries, just like us. The only difference is they don't let those feelings stop them. Unsuccessful people have the exact same fears, but they let that fear paralyze them.
So listen, don't wait for the fear to go away. It won't. The real secret is to train yourself, to practice acting despite the fear. Think of it like a muscle. The more you do things that make you uncomfortable, the stronger that muscle gets, and the bigger your whole world becomes.
And at the end of the day, it really just comes down to this. The world is filled with people who have incredible ideas, who are just waiting for the perfect time. But success isn't about thinking, it's about doing. One small step in the right direction is worth more than a lifetime of just thinking about it.
And this is really the ultimate takeaway. Every single day, your life is a blank page. You're the one writing the story. A lot of us keep getting the same results because we forget that we have the choice to write a brand new script. You are holding the marker.
So it all just comes down to a choice. You can let your old programming, your old blueprint, run the show, or you can grab that marker and take control. You can be a victim of your circumstances, or you can be the creator of your success. So knowing all this, the only question left is, what will you choose to create?